graduated from SIM UOW in 2017. After graduate, I work as a software engineer, which is called application consultant in my previous company. Then I'm currently in the Singapore government program and work as a cybersecurity analyst trainee in Citibank Singapore. So my hobby include singing and playing badminton, which now I can only do the singing at home as an exercise. So I feel like my neighbor are going to complain me if the circuit breaker didn't end soon. So now I share more about the current program that I'm in. So actually the program itself is called Technology in Finance Immersion Programme, as you can see here. So this is the short form, TFIP. So actually this program, the government program, right, is included those like current trending IT track. So like artificial intelligence, which you will use like programming to try to make the software itself intelligent so that it can make the decision like the human do. So we have cloud computing, which if you are the iPhone user, you may be familiar with the iCloud. Then there's a Microsoft OneDrive and Dropbox, all these kind of like cloud service for the individual using. But actually, besides all of this, right, nowadays the organization also buy the cloud service from the cloud provider like Amazon Web Services. I'm not sure whether you heard about it. So what they do, right, actually is instead of company buying their server itself, so server is actually like the computer we use normally, but it will be like more powerful instead of the processing power and maybe the storage. So the company, because holding the server itself is quite expensive, so instead of this, they will do the like buying the web cloud service from the service provider so that they can no need to maintain themselves. Yeah, so this is what cloud computing do. So they will like build the cloud structure, the architecture, so that can meet the company needs. So another thing is the data analytics, which I feel most of you will be very familiar because this one is quite frequent now in the market. So what they do is, if the company need the data, like maybe the company, let's say Universal Studio of Singapore, now they want to build a new facility, but they were wondering what kind of facility they need to build. So they need to know the trending is like what is the popular facility that in their park currently. So they will go for this data analytic company, then they ask them to like get any data from the website, from the whole internet. Then they do the analyze. Then they will like do the statistic, all the things. Then they will provide the company that the data they want, so that the company know what they want to build next. Yeah, then the next one is the full stack development. So this one you'll be unfamiliar. So what is full stack development, right? Actually is the web development. So for the big company, they will split the web development, like the building the website they will use daily. So they will split into the front-end development and the back-end development, which is the front-end development will develop the user interface, which you will see when you go to the website. Then the back-end development will doing those processing, like you click the button, then what is the server process the data you insert or something. So for this full stack development, instead of splitting it into two parts, it will combine all. So it called full stack, yeah, something like that. So, and the last track is the cybersecurity, which is I'm currently in. So you may heard about the cybersecurity, but what actually it does is actually a lot. So I can give you some example because I'm currently inside there. So it may be the professional that create or build the firewall. Maybe you will heard about this. So is to prevent the attacker or maybe outsider to come into the organization network so that they can protect their resources. So another example will be like in those agents, like special agents movie, right, secret agent movie, you will see inside the dark room that many people face into the big screen, then they will see the real life attack. Yeah, this is what's called SOC, which is Security Operations Center. So what they do, they're monitoring the organization network to see whether there is a like current attack that is ongoing in our organization network. Then there may be the people that testing all the web application, the software, the infrastructure itself, which I'm currently do, is called vulnerability assessment and penetration testing. So what this part do, right, is we will do the assessment, we will do the scanning for the application, like you use the banking apps in your mobile, right? we will do the scanning, then see whether there is a loophole for it, so that attacker can go in. So we will also do, we will act as a hacker. So we will hack the application, but it's legally because we are being authorized to do that. So after that, then if we found any security issue, we will ask the developer to do the fix. Yeah, so what is this program? Why government come up with this kind of program, right? The initiative is because currently there's a demand for the IT professional in every industry. So actually the existing well-trained IT people is not enough for the demand itself. So they want to attract more people in different track, which is they feel like it's talent, but they just want to give them some training like about this track, then they can do well, because they think that the people join this program have the capability to learn fast. Yeah, so what I share with you this is because I really think that now Singapore, the IT industry, the demand is really there. So it is a very good time to join the IT sector. So like other than this program, right, actually a lot of company now, they have their own fresh graduate program also, which they only hire the people that with less than 2 years experience. Then they will give like maybe 1 month training about what the job do. Then after that, they will assign you to different project or maybe different department to do things. So yeah, it's a really good opportunity. So now let me give you a quick overview for today's session. Actually, I will split into 3 parts of it. So the first part, I will do the introduction, which is the topic today, what is IT. Then I will give you some IT terms, which will frequently use in the IT degree or maybe computer science degree, so that you can know like what they learn inside the degree itself. So after that, we will go into the comparison, because in order to choose the degree to study, right, you have to know what is the difference between them, because there are a lot of different degrees that will lead you to the IT industry itself. So for the comparison, we will look at the IT degree, what is the IT degree and the computer science degree. Then we will do the comparison, and also school that offer computer science, IT and computing degree in the SIM itself. So the last part will be the tips, because in the poster itself, right, there is, you know, is free study tip or something. So definitely I have to squeeze something in for you. So it's the study tips and the career tips. So for those who are already inside the IT degree or maybe computer science degree, maybe the first 2 parts you will be familiar, so you can just wait for the last part, which I feel maybe it will help for your career also. So let me start for the introduction. What is information technology? As you can see right here, the picture, there's a laptop, Wi-Fi, mobile, and all other things. So actually, information technology is exists inside our daily life, which you may not realize. So what it means, right, is they use the computer to store, retrieve, or transmit, maybe manipulate the data and the information. So I can give you the example, like maybe you're using the Facebook. Nowadays, everyone using Facebook, right? So when you first join the Facebook, you want to register a new account, right? So you go to the registration page, then you fill in all the detail. Then when you click the register button, right, what the system do is they will transmit, which is they will send your data into the server. Then the server itself will do some process, then they will store your data into the database. So in this transaction, you can see actually you are using the technology, information technology. So another example, like the manipulate data and information, can be say when you do the reset the password, or maybe you change the password. So the existing password stored inside the database will be changed when you do the change the password. Yeah. So for the business perspective, IT is actually using the computer software, hardware, or network to solve their business process. So you can see all of the organization, actually they have IT department, because they need these to support their daily business process. Yeah, so why everyone are like doing the computer related job, telling you they are IT professional? It's like everyone is IT. So what is the difference between them? So IT actually are the people who like build, test, maintain, install, repair the hardware and the software. So let's say like, for example, software engineer. So software engineer, what they do, right? They build the test and then maintain the software itself. So like what I say, maybe like cybersecurity analysts, what they do, they actually build the firewall, like just now I say, they prevent the people go into the organization network. So they also, like what I do, I test the application to see whether there is a security issue, then I report to the development team to fix the issue. So like the IT support or maybe the desktop support in the organization. So what they usually do, right, they like install the hardware itself or install the software for the machine that new hire need, or maybe they repair if your computer have any issue. So why they call IT professional is because they involve all of this. So now we go into the IT terms. The first one I want to introduce is the algorithm. So these terms, right, actually is frequently used in IT program and the computer science program. Why I say so is because it is related to the programming. So you may know, right, nowadays if you study IT degree or computer science degree, definitely you need to learn the programming. So what is algorithm about? Actually, it is a software, it's a process of set of rules that to be followed in the calculation or other problem solving operation. So to be simplified it, I would say it will be the sequence of steps or maybe the activity that you do to achieve a daily goal or maybe to solve a problem. So I will give you the example so that you can better understand. So nowadays, like everyone's still in maybe MCO or maybe circuit breaker. So I think the daily problem you face, right, is maybe like go out, whether you go out to buy food or maybe you stay at home. So the first example actually I give you is the algorithm itself to solve the problem, which is when you go out to buy food or maybe like you stay at home. So to solve a problem, actually we have the condition. Like here, the condition is the feeling. So if I feel hungry, then I will go out to buy food. Yeah, so because I met the condition, so I go out to buy food. So if I'm not hungry, right, else I will just stay at home. So you will see the end if here is actually the end of the if, the condition means the condition end. So yeah, this is one of the examples. So to buy food, right, I can relate to another example, which is you need cash, you need money. So if your cash is less than 100, then you go to bank to withdraw $100 so you can maintain it. So this is another algorithm that to solve when you're going to withdraw the money. So to achieve a goal, actually there's multiple ways. There are a lot of ways, like the real life, if we solve the issue, right, we can use different ways but to achieve the same goal. So like now instead of withdraw $100, so my cash less than 100, right, then I go to bank A first, then I withdraw $50. Then I go to bank B again, then I withdraw another 50. So you may think, who would like this stupid, why don't just withdraw like $100 in bank A, right? Because to simplify this kind of like problem for you to understand, actually there are a lot of conditions that I didn't put in. So maybe the person go to bank A, right? They realize the balance is not enough, so they cannot withdraw $100. So instead of that, they can only withdraw 50. So, but they still need to achieve the $100 goal. So they have no choice but go to bank B to withdraw $50. So for now, right, what the example, the algorithm, the problem solving, the scenario I give you is the single scenario. But in the real programming, right, the software itself actually is very complex. So it may be combined of two different kind of issue. Like just now I combine like example 1 and example 2. So it's like I check if I am hungry, then I will check again. Okay, if my cash is less than 100, then I go to bank withdraw. So this condition, right, is here and here. So if this condition, like my cash is more than 100, right, I will just skip this step. Then I go to buy food. So if I totally not hungry at all, then I will stay at home. Yeah, so this is the algorithm itself, how they do. So in the IT program and the CS program, computer science program, when we doing the programming, right, first thing we need to know is the algorithm itself. Yeah, it's like a solution. So the next thing is the popular terms like the programming, maybe you heard about it. And you can see like here, I list out like most like those popular programming language, like the Java, C++, Python. So so what is programming, right? Is actually using those programming language is like one of it to write the algorithm. So means that the things I show you just now, right, actually is right in the word, the English word, so that we can understand, right? But for the computer to understand, we need to write in the programming language itself. So for the programming, like different language that have different syntax. The syntax here, right, is means that like the English grammar. So we use English, we need to know grammar. So we use programming language, we need to know the syntax. But it is not like the other language like the Mandarin and English itself is like so different. They are quite similar. They are maybe like, let's say the example, maybe the US English or maybe UK English itself. So, but for English, right, if we grammar used wrongly, people may still understand, but the computer actually is not that intelligent. So the syntax itself need to be strictly followed. So if the syntax is wrong, then the computer cannot understand, means that the program cannot run. So that's why we spend a lot of time actually to find out like what's wrong with my syntax, what are algorithm, why my algorithm is not efficient. Yeah, this is what they do. So now we quickly move to the comparison part. So for the comparison part, right, I will go to the IT degree vs the CS degree. So what is IT degree prepare you for is actually they teach those modules for you to take care of both organization and the information technology. So what does it mean, right? Is unless except for learning those programming like technical IT knowledge, right? You also need to learn some module that is maybe business management or maybe business related module, so that you can understand how business work, so that you can manage the maybe IT project or something. So you will learn programming, but the programming itself is more business related, like maybe web programming, so that you can build a website that company need. Or maybe they will use the programming to like integrate to link to the existing product, which is developed by other company or maybe software engineer. So other than the information technology itself, sometimes you may see the information system that leads out in the school of computing or something. So what does it mean, right? Actually, the IT is a subset of it. So IT is part of the information system.
In the morning when you came in,
so actually IS, right, it include the technology, process and people. But before that, it is put inside the school of business or something, because actually it focuses more on business and management. But nowadays, right, actually now the technology become bigger and bigger for the part of the information system. So now they park this degree into the school of computing itself. But in today's session, I will just put it into the IT degree to do the comparison. So now the CS degree, right? So what is the difference between the CS degree is they study the behavior of the process and data of the software. So they focus on the software. Like nowadays, the scientists are trying to find a vaccine for the COVID-19. So what they do, right, they need to study the virus, the behavior of the virus, so they can come out the things. So the same as computer science, they're doing science for the software itself. So they will study the behavior, then they will come out like what the performance of the algorithm, how can they improve it, or how can they write a better program. So unlike the IT degree, they only focus on the design and building the software. So what I share with you now, right, is at the module they provide and the theoretical idea of it. So actually it doesn't mean that if you study this, right, you definitely only focus on software itself. So the CS degree, unlike the IT degree also, because they focus only for software, so they will heavily use the programming skills. So if you want to look at the programming weightage for this program, like I would say for the computer science degree, they have the highest weightage for the programming. Then the IT is the medium one. So the information system itself is the lowest, because it study basic IT knowledge, but they will focus more on the business process and the management. So now we go to the school-to-school comparison. So you may have a better idea like which school or which courses actually are suitable for me more. So you can see here we have the University of Wollongong, then they provide the IT degree, computer science degree. Then at the right side, we have the URL, which actually URL, right, is include of many independent school. So if you search online, right, you will find a lot of school actually under URL. But in SIN itself, most of the IT and computing program offer is developed by Goldsmith. But when I go website, right, I take a look for the IT and computing discipline for the undergrad program. I see another special program here, which is offered by different school. It's London School of Economic and Political Science, like LSE. So they offer the data science and business analytics. So maybe I start the comparison from this first. So I take a look for the module itself. So instead of saying this program like a computing program, I would say if it is more on statistics and mathematics, because all the module that they learn, right, is the mathematics, then they learn the advanced statistics, and they did learn some machine learning. So I would say why so, right? Because actually data analytic field itself doesn't mean that you all the time doing the programming. You still need the advanced statistics to do the analysis for the data. So another similar, which will lead you to the data analytic field, right, is the one I would say the Bachelor of Computer Science, which is big data. So you may say, what is big data and what is data science and data analytic, right? So now I give you the better idea. Actually, big data means that the large volume of data. So instead like million of data, they are like maybe billion, trillion, or maybe like bigger amount data that the normal computer or maybe normal system cannot handle the data itself. So they need special way to treat this data. So, but in the data analytic field, right, you definitely need data so that you can come up with a more accurate analysis. So the data analytic itself, right, is doing like specific, like just now I shared, the company needs some specific data, like which facility is more popular or something. So they need to come out with the result from the big data. So big data is the data that they analyze. So the real life example you can think about is now you go into library, then you want to find out IT books or maybe IT knowledge or something. Then if you go inside the library, definitely there are a lot of different books. So you can treat all these book and information like a big data. But what you do, right, you want to specific on the IT itself or maybe IT knowledge itself. What you do, right, is actually like data analytics. You go to the IT area, then you pick up the book and find out the answer for your question. So here, right, is the domain that the data analytics need. Like just now I say, right, the UOL, right, the data science and business analytics, they didn't learn a lot of programming because from the general idea, right, what they focus is they focus on math and statistics algorithm. So they will do the analysis and they will communicate with the business user after they come out with the result. So the data engineer, so like the Bachelor of Computer Science big data offered by the UOW, actually they will lead you more to the data engineer. So what data engineer do, right, is the software engineering. They build out the system that can get the big data from everywhere, the data itself. Then after that, because they also need the statistic algorithm so that they can well prepare for the data. Then for the data analyst to do the analysis. So for the data scientist itself, if you want to become like data scientist, this like fancy title, right? You have to know both, like the programming, you need to know very well, and you need to know the statistic and those math algorithm very well. Then you need to communicate with the business also because you are the best solution. You can talk to them so that they can more believe this data is useful. So unlike this one, right, now I am going to share with you the IT degree and offered by the UOW and the UOL. So I will show in the spreadsheet. So you can see right here, we have the UOW program, which is the Business Information System and the Information Technology. Then here we have the UOL, which is the Computing and Information System, which is I feel is the IT degree area. So you want to know the difference. Right? First is the mode of the delivery. For most of the UOW IT and computing course, they will split one academic year into 4 terms. Means that 3 months is the terms. Then every term you need to take 2 modules. So actually I would say, because I am the UOW graduate, it is quite intense because within 3 months, right, actually what you have is 2 months to complete all the class and assignment because there is more than one assignment to do. Then you have small like the labs itself to do. So what you do is you complete all the class and you finish the assignment, then you straight away prepare the exam. The exam usually held like the first week or second week in the 3rd month itself. So it's pretty intense. And the module itself is quite a lot because one term you study 2 modules. So 1 year you will have 8 modules. Means that first 2 years you will have 16 modules total. So the 12 core module means that is the program asks you to study. So you cannot choose, you have to complete it. The elective module is the one that you choose yourself to study. So for the UOL side is totally different because you study like each year like full units, 4 full units modules. then it's assigned by the school. I would say it's a core module. Then after that, you only have one-time exam. After you study 1 year, then you take the exam itself. So it's quite different than this, because this one is like 1 year you have 4 exams. And both program, right, actually is combined with the coursework and the exam. So for the UOL, like first 2 years, you need to study 4, which is 8 module, which is half of the UOW. But you don't think that it's really easy, like 1 year you only study 4 modules, because only 4 modules, they will expect you to like go into deeper knowledge of that module. And because they allow you to have 1 year to study the exam. So maybe the exam itself maybe is harder, I would say. So how do you choose? I would say, because both like this is the information system, this one is also information system, but this one is computing and information system, but this one is business. So you can know the difference, what they focus. So in UOW information system, right, actually they focus more on business. Why I say so is because other than all these technical module, they will ask you to study like 4 business electives. But UOL, right, you see all 8 modules here for year 1 and year 2 is all technical. Unlike this foundation of e-business, all other thing is technical things. So for the final year is also a bit different. Like UOW asks you to study the fixed one that they ask you to study. So it's combined like management, and you need to learn some programming also, the technical. So it's mixed with a technical and the business side. But the UOL offer like quite variety of different modules, like those 8 modules, right? They ask you to choose 6. Why I call half unit, right, is because the class maybe is shorter, so that you can take more module at the same time. So you can see the variety like AI, the computer security. So you can think about like what you want to focus, like maybe business or maybe the technical. But what I didn't mention more about the IT, right, is because in the UOW IT course, they only offer part-time. So if you want to study full-time, right, maybe this one is not the course that you want to look at. So, but I would say like these 2 modules actually are similar. They focus like technical more than the business. Then this one is the business. So now I show you the elective, then you can have better understand. So like the business information system, they ask you to study the business module, right? So those business module like accounting, then maybe econs, marketing, then the statistics, or maybe the management module itself. So for the IT, right, because you can see here, there is a IT or maybe business, you can choose yourself like what kind of module you choose for elective module. So they have some other like technical like front-end programming or maybe Python itself. Yeah, so this is the list that you can choose. So we move to the CS program, computer science. So now I have the UOW and the UOL again. So the mode of delivery for UOW is the same, like 4 terms each year. But the UOL, again, they're different, because for just now I say the IT program they offer, right, is actually like 1 year you take 1 exam. But for the computer science in UOL, they split the 1 year into 2 semesters. So each semester you take 4 modules. So you will, like in total 8 modules. So 2 years you will have 16 modules, which is the same as UOW. But the UOW computer science, instead of 4 elective modules you can choose in year 1 and year 2, right? They only allow you to choose like 3 elective modules. So they have 1 more like core module for you. So I can say both computer science, right? Actually, the basic foundation you need to know is quite the same, because you can see here have programming. Then you need to study math. But UOL split into 2, but UOW only have 1. Then they have their own preference to teach you some IT foundation knowledge, or yeah, so it's different. So the highlighted one is a different, but it's just the IT foundation. So they have the problem solving and the algorithm that I just now told you. So actually this one is related. You both will learn no matter which school you choose. So like different kind of programming, then you learn database or something. Yeah, IT project management also, because you see the agile software project actually is also teach you, is one method of the IT project management skills. So yeah, it's quite similar. So I would say how you choose a computer science program, right? You can based on their specification, like the specialization of their course. Because for the UOW, right, actually we have 4 different measures, right? Like cybersecurity, digital system security, game and mobile development, and we have the big data. So you can, based on your interest, you are which module, which kind of area you are more interested with. So we can go for it. So like UOL, right? UOL, we have the machine learning and AI, then we have web and mobile development. But you can see in the PowerPoint itself, actually they have a general computer science. But in my own opinion, right, I would say you can just know about this. Why I say so is because you can see for the elective itself, all the difference between all the different computer science course in the UOL is only at the final year. Means that first year and the second year, the module is all the same. So this is the final year module. So if you didn't choose a specific area to focus, right, you will choose all like from this all, you choose 6. So if you study like you choose the machine learning and AI to focus, right, they will assign you like 5 modules that feel like is relevant to the machine learning and AI. So you can see the machine learning, they will learn AI or something. So I feel like all the module they prepare, right, actually it just focus on these 2. So why I can say so, right, is like these 5 modules, they say is web and mobile development focus. So this is the machine learning and AI, but you can see other modules, right, like the data science and physical computing and IoT. Actually, it's related to the machine learning and AI. So if you study this one, right, you definitely like maybe choose more relevant one is like these 2. So if you like focus on this mobile development, web and mobile development, so maybe you can just choose like either VR or maybe the game development. So if you choose the common one, right, common computer science, you didn't focus on anything, you can either like choose like 2 here, 3 here, and maybe 1 here. But if you do this, you don't have the focus, I would say, because nowadays, right, you go to the industry, if you, during the study, like the school time, you didn't spend a lot of effort into the other area or build other skill set, right? What you have, the skill set is you learn from the school. So if you do that, right, I will feel like you don't have the strength to compete with other. If you study the general one, you anyhow pick the module, then you say you want to pursue for the machine learning and AI job, it will be quite hard, I would say. So another thing you would say is similar, I would say is quite similar, is the UOW game and mobile development and the UOL web and mobile development. But what their focus, right, you can see from their title, actually the first one, you can see the web. This one is the web for UOL, then this one is the game. So why I say so is because you can see the core module here. So you see the game engine, you learn how to do the 3D modeling using the programming, so it's game related. It's this graphic and the programming that you use in the game development. So you have 1 elective module in the final year. So you can either choose here is a mobile development related module, I would say. So you can see the focus is the game. So for the UOL side, right, you can see their core is here. So it's more on the web. You see advanced web development, mobile development, database, all that things. So you can choose also 1 elective module. So which is here. You can see is maybe VR or game development. You would say, hey, here is also game development. Maybe they only like teach you like basic thing, or maybe this VR you can use on website instead of a game. So if you want to compare about this, I would say this one is more on game, this one is more on web. So the last one I want to say is the cybersecurity and digital system security. So you may confuse, right? Like these 2 modules is both about security. Then what is the difference? So I would say because I'm the digital system security graduate, so this one, the perspective itself is focused more on how you're building a secure software. So it's all about the programming, the building software itself. So how you build a secure software so that other people cannot compromise your software. So yeah, for the cybersecurity side, which is now I currently do, is actually they are stand outside from the system and the software. They will see what kind of things they can implement to protect maybe organization network or maybe the software itself. So they implement firewall, they do the security testing or something. So I would say they will focus more on how to use the tools. So the tools itself maybe is right by the digital system security people, is the security tools, because you cannot do a security implementation without a secure tools. Yeah, so here is the difference. So I would say this one is more on like building software programming. This one is like using tools and your knowledge about the the cybersecurity, what is the type of the attack itself. So yeah, this is the comparison for them. So I can give you the conclusion for it now. Okay. Okay, so the conclusion is actually how you choose, right, is you need to consider what is the specialization, what the interest you are in. Like maybe you only want to join IT industry, but you don't want to learn so much like programming or technical skill. Maybe you can go for the like your UW business and information system, or maybe you want to know both IT technical things and maybe the business process. So you can go for the IT, like UW IT, or maybe UOL information, computing and information system. So, or maybe the computer science, you want to focus more on software, but which area you want to focus, then you can think about that. So except for the specialization, I would say the degree type is also important, because UOL offer like 3 years degree, right? Then you can get the honors degree. So honors degree, so the UOW, right, 3 years, you didn't get the honors degree. If you want to have the honors degree, you need to apply like in separately, then to study 1 more year in the Australia UOW main campus. So you will, if you ask me whether the honors degree is important, I would say if you want to study until master degree, right, straight away, maybe it is important, because 3 years, right, you can get the honors degree, then you straight away, because the master degree, normally they require you to have the honors degree. But honors degree, you need to make sure, because honors degree, they have different classes to mention your result. So it's like first class, second class, then second class inside they're split into 2, second upper, second lower, and they have third class. So normally, right, they take a look for the honors degree, they will look at the second upper and above. So if you cannot get second upper and above, actually your honors degree, I would say, is not much help. It's like not much different than the normal degree. Yeah, so it's not saying if you study UOW courses, you definitely have to go 1 more year, then you get the honors degree, then you can study master. Nowadays, a lot of master degree, right, actually they allow using working experience, like 2 years working experience to cover the honors degree itself. So you still have the chances to study master degree if you study the UOW without going to the main campus to study 1 more year. I would say like that. But the mode of delivery is the next thing you need to consider, which I say just now, the UOW split into 4 terms. Then UOLIT is 1 year, then you take exam for 4 modules. Then their computer science course is both like half, like 2 semesters, then 4 module. Yeah, this is, you can consider which one is suitable for you. Like maybe you like that kind of, you study 1 year, you have the self-discipline, then you can take the exam, then pass the exam. So another thing is the university ranking. So I'm not sure whether you're aware of this, but you can Google search like QS ranking, like QS university ranking is one of the ranking. So different university, right, actually by subject and maybe by overall, they have their own ranking. So you can take a look for that. Another one is the intake. So what is the difference between these is like your LIT, right, they only have 1 year exam. So means that the intake itself is 1 time for a year. So now you want to enroll to the university degree, but you already missed that one time chance to get in. Is it worth you to like wait for 1 more year to just look at it, like join that program? But you can join other program also at the same time. Maybe they have different intake offered by other degrees, so that you can just join. Because you wait for 1 more year, right? Then you means that you will late 1 more year graduate. Then people that have 1 more experience than you, then maybe they can do better than you. So I will feel like working experience actually is quite important. Then the last part is the cost fee itself, because you have to consider your parents' budget also, because different courses actually like have different costs, I would say. So what you study doesn't mean that what you work, definitely. So it's like you study for the IT degree, right? Doesn't mean that you can only focus on the business and maybe the technical, like both. Maybe you can also focus on just software itself if you are technical enough. Like the CS also is like you didn't study business process, but if you go to work, you still can become the project manager. You can learn the business process from the work itself. Yeah, so now I will move to the tips part, which is the last part of our session. So for the study tips, right, actually I would say it will be like study advice instead of study tips. First, you definitely need to put in effort, because like the mathematics you learn in the secondary school or primary school, if you want to get a good result, definitely you need to do a lot of practice question to achieve that. There's no shortcut for it. So the next one is to build a strong foundation, because actually 3 years bachelor degree, right, actually doesn't mean that they can let you become the expert of something, but what they want to focus, right, is build a strong foundation, so that if you go to the industry or maybe you want to pursue for the advanced knowledge for it, because everything is based on the foundation. So you have strong foundation, you can learn yourself better when you go pursue for the advanced knowledge of that. So the last, another thing is to explore your interests and find a specific area to focus as soon as possible. It's because you only focus in the last year for your specialization. But if you can know what you want to do earlier, like maybe year 1 or year 2, you can start to build those relevant skill set, means that you earlier than other people. So after you graduate, right, means that you have stronger knowledge for that area. And another one is learn and build the ability to do self-learning. Why I say so is because when you go to the industry, it's my own experience. Nobody is really like free to do the spoon feeding, like lead you, like teach you step by step how to do the things. So every time you have to like learn a lot of things yourself so that you can adapt the environment faster. Okay, last but not least is the read more IT relevant news and articles. So why this is important is because what you learn inside the school, right, all the technical skill or maybe the general skills, you definitely need to implement when you go into the work. So if you know what happened in the IT industry, right, then I feel like it will better, you can have a better understand when you learn that skills that require for the industry. Yeah. So the last part is the career path. The career part, right, actually I will introduce the LinkedIn. So some of you maybe already know this, but LinkedIn actually is the social media like Facebook, but it's more on the professional and maybe industry use. Like what they do, right, is you can showcase your professional profile. Like you study, then you get a good result. Your university is very reputation is very high. Then you can put inside your profile. Then the skill set you have, or after that your work experience, all you can put inside there. Because nowadays, right, a lot of headhunter or maybe the hiring manager, they actually go to LinkedIn, then they will search for keyword, like they want to find the software engineer, then maybe type in the programming, like the keywords. Then if your profile is contain the programming, right, you will come out, your profile will come out to them, then they will take a look. If your profile they feel like is good, then they will approach you to offer the job to you. Yeah, it's something like this. So I feel it's very good. Then you can get the industry news, which I say when you are in the study also, you have to take a look for the industry information and industry news. So how you do this, right, is maybe by you following those like if you are interested with the AI, you go to LinkedIn, then maybe you search for artificial intelligence. Then they will come up with different group that is this AI related. So you will think like which group should I join, right? Because there are so many groups. You can take a look for the follower. It's my own experience. If the group is many people to follow, maybe you just follow and take a look for the things that share whether it's good or not. Yeah. Then the last one is you can find the job description or maybe the requirement. So it doesn't mean that you only find a job when you graduate. Actually during school, right, even now I have inside the program, or maybe I have a job, I keep looking for the job description and the job vocation. Why I do so is because by doing this, you can know nowadays the industry, what the technical skill they need, what the general skill they need, what is some of the area they need you to have the certification for specific things. So we can take a look what is the need for that. So yeah, the last part is the skills framework, which is developed by the government organization called Skills Future. So this framework, right, is to actually provide the Singapore workforce for them to have the better idea, like if you focus on AI or maybe you focus on cybersecurity, which kind of technical skill or maybe I would say like what kind of skill or maybe which area should I do more to do better, to perform better in my area now. So now here is the link. Maybe you can take a screenshot or maybe print screen for it. So you can take a look after this session because there are a lot of content inside there. I cannot cover all by now, yeah. So, okay, so I will copy later to the group chat also, so no worry if you didn't take a screenshot. So let me show you. Okay, so if you click on the link, right, you will go into the website, you see the skills framework. So how this one to help you, right, actually they have the, how can you benefit from it? So from what I see, right, is everyone can benefit from it. So as a student, you can, because they have the career pathway or maybe the industry section, like the description for you. So you can determine what study, what course to study, or maybe what should I focus. Then because they have the like the emerging trend, like what is the trend after like this year or now the Singapore are doing. So as a parent or maybe the counselor, you can understand this or maybe you can know this. Then after that, you can recommend the student or maybe your child. So you can ask them to take a look, like which one is the interest for them. So you can see here have many sectors, but today we are the IT section. So we will focus on the Infocomm technology. So I will click on this. Yeah, then we will go into here. Like what I say, they provide sector information, career pathway, and all other information like emerging skills or something. So we quickly take a look for this. So for information, sector information, you can download. There's a document. So you open it. Yeah. So for the first document, right, actually is more on they will tell you what is the skills framework for. Like the first part. Then after that, they will go into like some of the chart to show you what is the demand. Then they will show you the statistic, like how many people they recruit. So you can see, right, all the big amount actually is really in need. Yeah, then there is a future development, which they will tell you what is the emerging trend, like maybe the AI and data science is a trend, cybersecurity is a trend, and other stuff. Yeah, so attribute. Then here they will tell you how can you do better, like can help you in your career. But all of these, right, I would say are more relevant to Singaporean and PR because they will talk about the skills future credit that offered by the government. Then they have some other like program like this. Actually, the program I currently in is sort of this kind of program, like Take Immersion Program. Then after that, it will be other information for you. You can take a look. Then they have the skills map. Okay, they have different area. So actually this guy, actually I'm not sure whether you know, this one is the SIM graduate also. Then he's now doing very well in the cybersecurity or maybe security area, I would say. But what he studied actually is just computing and information system offered by UOL, which is, I would say, is not really like very relevant to the security, but because of the interest, right, he spent a lot of time in this area. So actually, he can still do well in the sector itself. So you can see now the government find him as a like representation for representative for the area. So you can feel like it's doing very well. Yeah, so for this document is all other thing is all the job description things. So now we move to the last part here. Here have the like all the career map. If you're really interested, you can print it out because it has been cut. So if you print it out, right, and you link it together, you can see a big picture. But actually inside the skills framework, there is another document, which is, I feel is better, it's easier to use, which you can click here. Just now the document is here. Now you can click here. Then you will open here, this website. Then you click for here. There's a navigate for skill framework for ICT. Then you click. Then the same thing is, they will give you the introduction or something and then teach you how to use this document, all that things. Then we go straight away to the main view. Okay, maybe let me zoom out a bit so we can have a big picture. Yeah, so actually what they do, right, they split the whole IT sector into 7 tracks, which means that it cover most of the tasks. Yeah, like there is data and AI, there is cybersecurity, Then in each of the track, right, they have the sub-track. Like maybe you are in data artificial intelligence, then you can focus on maybe data engineering or maybe data science or something. So like you can click on it, like cybersecurity. Now we take a look for the cybersecurity. Yeah, so it will show you the big picture, like the career pathway, like what you need to know. Oh, sorry, go back. Okay, so it will give you a big picture like this. So like which path you should go first, then you go into other level, or you can climb up for that. And you can also choose like specific subtrack. Like you want to focus, like I'm focused on vulnerability assessment and penetration testing. You can click on it, then you will go into the specific pathway. It will shorten the scope so you can see. So this is the pathway I take. So you can see software engineer, then I become here, the vulnerability assessment and penetration testing analyst. So if you want to know more about this, what this role doing, right, you can just click on it. Yeah, there is a job description, like what they do. Then they will give you the technical skills, competency, or maybe general skill that need for this role. But for my own opinion, I will feel like this one is quite general. If you want to really know what you need, the technical skill or maybe the general skill, you can go to LinkedIn, find the job, see the job description itself. Then you can know better. But this one also have the description. If you want to take a look, you can just click on it, like network security, what is it? Then what is the proficiency you need for this one? Yeah, so you can take a look after this session. I feel this is really good. So now maybe let me copy first so that you can, maybe I copy this ICT one in the group chat. So you can just take a look after this. Yeah, so this is all I want to share for today. So maybe now I stop my sharing and I bring the screen to Janice again. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Soon Gui, for this sharing. I believe that all of us here that have not have always been interested in IT or computer science, but were not very sure before, have gained a lot out of this sharing. So I will just share a bit about SIM, and for those of you who are still considering, and for a very quick one before we go right into the questions that we have in the group chat here, so that Soon Gui can answer them as well. So give him a break for a while. So I will share this. So I'm Janice. I didn't introduce myself earlier. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm Janice. I'm actually the country manager for Malaysia. So we actually have a Malaysia rep office here in KL. Yep. So just a bit of introduction about SIM. We have a beautiful campus. If you look at the photo below or the photo behind me, yep. And we have about 17,000 students annually. Okay, and these students come from 40 different countries right now, with about 3,500 of them. They are international students. And then we have almost about 80 student clubs right now. So don't worry about, in SIM, we believe in, studying hard, but also playing hard. And so you will have a lot of, you have a holistic experience and a lot of experience outside of class as well over in SIM. And about 82% of our students, sorry about that, 82.8% of our students actually upon graduation will find their jobs, and we have a lot of alumni as well, which is good because like for example, Soon Gui is like back here, sharing with you and also bringing his experience and also networking with you. So we do have all these opportunities for students in SIM. So a bit of for Malaysian students that we have here. So these are our education pathways. You can actually come in from your UEC or your STPM or A levels, and you can come in directly to the programs that we have, or go through our diploma or foundation first. For SPM and O level students, you can then go through our SIM foundation program first before our diploma. So as Soon Gui mentioned earlier, also for our computer science programs, we have University of Wollongong, which is under Australia, and University of London, which is a UK university. So just to share a bit about our IT foundation studies. So actually our IT foundation studies will be for students from SPM or O levels. So that will be 6 months, and then it will be followed by a diploma in IT for a year. And then you can then choose whether you want to go into the IT field or the non-IT field. And then to the IT field, you have the options of University of London and University of Wollongong, or the non-IT fields as well. But of course, it might take longer to go into the non-IT fields because there might be bridging courses that you may take because you were doing something else slightly different before. So the university partners, I won't go too much in detail because Soon Gui has mentioned them earlier as well. So we have UOL, which will have the few programs in red over here. And also University of Wollongong, which also has a range of computer science programs over here as well. For scholarship-wise, we have two types of scholarships. So one of it is a diploma scholarship for international students, and we also have the SMGE scholarship, which is open to all students. And this one, they will look at your outstanding academic results and also your achievements in sports and arts. And this scholarship actually covers your full tuition fee. And for the main scholarship, it will also be your exam fees, your fixed book allowance, and also other compulsory fees. And the best thing is there is no bond attached to both of the scholarships. So a bit about how I mentioned that we will always build, we seek to build a holistic student life for students as well. So we do have the career development office that looks after your career from the time you come in. They will look at your resume and help you work on it and see what are the skills that you need to go out into the career for the workforce. So we have the career chapters that are there to help you. Project Protege. We have a unicorn portal, which is like a job street for students, for assigned students. If you look at the picture on the bottom left, it's actually our career fairs that are held twice a year. And so we actually do pay a lot of attention to where you are going to after you graduate as well. Yeah. And so we have student care as well, because we do care about how you are. And so we have talks and workshops, for you to manage your stress, how to build positive relationships, and how to build your resilience. We also have the Student Learning Center to help you with your studies. If let's say we have students that are maybe weaker in certain subjects, we have seniors coming to help them. For global learning, so for students that actually want an opportunity to go abroad, apart from just an experience in Singapore, you have a chance to go overseas as well for an exchange. Some of the university partners we do have this option, and some of it you can opt to do it during your break. Yep. And we also have student development, where we have over 70 clubs. We have student councils for each of your different university partners. We have sports and fitness clubs, so it's a good time to pick up a new sport. Arts and culture clubs. We have special interest clubs. If you're from a specific religion or interest group, you can also join that. And we have the international student communities. For example, for Malaysians, we have the Malaysian community called Maxine. And for that, you actually get an experience of having a home outside of your home in Singapore. So if you have any further details that you would like to ask us, please feel free to email us on this email or the WhatsApp. The WhatsApp will actually go directly to me, so please feel free to reach out to us. You can take a print screen of this if you have any, and if you have any inquiries, you can let us know. And if you have any questions for Soon Gui after this, you can also let me know, and I can direct the questions to him and then send it back to you. And just before we go back to the Q&A with Soon Gui, we have one session next week, and this is with two of our students from University of Birmingham and UOL, and this will be under these two young graduates of ours that are now both in e-commerce sector. So if you're free, please do join us as well next week, and the registration link is right there at the bit.ly/sim_e-com. Okay, that was a mouthful. But anyway, I will go back to Soon Gui now because I know that that's the main thing you would like to listen to. So we will start off with the first question. Okay, are you ready, Soon Gui?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, the first question we have here is computer science a difficult subject to study?
Okay, actually I saw what Zhixuan asking is about whether it's difficult, then what is the qualification for one who want to take computer science program. I will answer this at once because I would say computer science actually is not easy to study, but if you are interested with it, right, because I also don't know what is computer science for, because actually I take the pathway like UEC, then I go to DMS, which is a business program. Then after that, I choose that business is not what I interested with. Then I choose computer science. Then I start to know what is computer science study about. It's like the programming, because if you don't know programming, right, actually at start you definitely struggle. But I can assure you, right, is if you're really interested with it, then you put in effort. It doesn't matter you don't know before. You just work hard and pay attention to the class. Then you can do well also. Even though those people, right, like a lot of people actually they start from the poly grade, which is the diploma, they already study this one. But I will very proud to say my result is still good than them because I put in more effort than them. So I would say if you really put effort, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether it's very hard. I would say it will become easy if after a while you study. Then what is the qualification? I would say if you still inside the school, right, maybe secondary school, maybe you can learn well with the mathematics because I wouldn't say because all the computer science is about mathematics, but mathematics is the subject, right, actually can train your brain. Because computer science, it's all about the problem solving, like how you build the algorithm, like I shared just now, because it will be more complex for them. So the mathematics, actually this subject train your brain. So when you do the practice exercise for the mathematics, your brain is being trained in the way, it's like how you logically thinking about that. So I would say, as long as you just met maybe the SIM entry requirement for this course, then you are interested with it, then you just join, and I think you won't regret. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Soon Gui. I hope that answered your question. And then we have a next question, which is it easy to find jobs for cybersecurity course? So based on my understanding, as everything is moving towards IT and tech, you know, there are a lot of transactions made online, online shopping, or whether it's banking, you're doing most of your banking online now as well. I believe that the cybersecurity is actually something that's really highly in demand now. So maybe Soon Gui, you can shed some light on this as well, whether how easy was it to find jobs? Yeah.
Okay, I would say cybersecurity course, right? Actually, I cannot say if you study cybersecurity course, then you can easily find a job in the cybersecurity area. But because as what I do, right, because you see why I didn't straight away go to the cybersecurity job is because actually the company don't want to take the risk to hire the fresh, because the company, right, they need the experienced people, and if they hire you, they need you to have some performance. That's why the government program come out and a lot of fresh grad program come out, because they need you to have the basic understanding. So if you study cybersecurity course, right, actually they will give you some skill set for the cybersecurity area. So of course you will have the better, like the higher chance and higher possibility to join the field. But also depend on how you learn it. So it's not like you attend class, you do well in the exam, then you can straight away join the cybersecurity, because cybersecurity, this area is very very specific things. So you definitely, no matter whether you choose cybersecurity or other courses like big data, you want to join it, right? Actually, there are a lot of different skill set other than the course syllabus that teach you. So you have to put effort to learn more so that you can get the job easily, I would just say. But it's a very good, because no matter what course you study, right, actually now IT is, you no need to worry about you finding a job. You definitely can find a job, but it's what kind of job, like maybe the job, whether it's good or not, is depend on your effort, how much effort you put in, so you can show the employer your capability of it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, so everyone, apart from your qualification itself, of course, it does see a lot more about your personality and how much you're willing to put in, how initiative you are as well in learning more. That will of course lend you your first job and your jobs after that as well. Yeah. So okay, we have another question. I believe it's like, what are the qualities that you think, you know, for someone that is required for someone who wants to take the computer science program, which I think is quite similar to what we just shared as well.
I already shared at the first question, because it's asked by the same person, Zixuan. It's a qualification which I answer is, you just, if you are still in secondary school, maybe you do well in your math. But if you already graduated, don't worry, just join. If you meet the minimum requirement, then you work hard. You definitely can do well.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Soon Gui, and thank you, Jisran, for your question also. Okay, I have a question here that, may I know a few examples of MNC companies that have hired a lot of IT fresh graduates? So from my understanding, we have companies like NCS, ST Aerospace Engineering, Grab, Google, Zalora, BHP for oil and gas that actually do hire IT graduates. So maybe from your own experience, maybe where you have ended up in and where you see your friends working at now. Do you have some companies that you can think of?
Okay, so for the multinational company, right, because what I joined before actually is quite, I can say it's a local company, because it's the Singtel subsidiary called NCS. So for those actually fresh grade program, right, they normally will do the campus hire. Means that they will go to the campus site. SIM actually, they have a career fair every year, like few times. So because SIM actually I feel like it's quite reputable, because when I joined my previous company, right, actually they say because they feel like SIM, the people graduate from maybe UOW or UOL, they feel like they really can perform. That's why they go to the campus itself. So like my own example, right, they did go to our classroom, yeah, the NCS, they share about their fresh grade program. Then you can ask what is the salary itself. They will say definitely good enough for you to join something like this. So you will have more exposure for if you study there in SIM. So you will know more, because it's not like you want to find yourself. And if you not find yourself, I think the opportunity will go and come and find out for you. Yeah, so if you want to know more like multinational company, right, actually you can always go Google and you search for it. Like I think it's under the career area in their website, so you can know more. So like during school, or maybe you already graduate, you can start finding the job. It's easily you can find online. Like you can choose which kind of company you want to join, then you can see whether they offer this kind of program. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Soon Gui. Okay, I have got another question here, where a student is probably thinking about which laptop he should get. So what do you think, whether Windows or Mac OS, which is more suitable for programming, whether which one should he buy to start his program?
Okay, so actually this question, right, is like, I can say it's personal preference, because like Windows, right, a lot of people will say MacBook is very good. But actually, from what I see in my class, right, actually a lot of people, because they are gamer, so if you buy the MacBook, right, you cannot really like play a lot of game, because there is a limitation. So they buy a good gaming laptop means that they have a strong processing power and all the things, so they can do well also. And actually programming is not, unless you really write a very heavy program, if not for what you require in the school, right, actually doesn't mean you need a like MacBook or something. But if you really affordable, it's affordable for you, MacBook, because very expensive, you can still go for it because it's very good. But for myself, right, actually because my mother don't allow me to buy so expensive laptop at the time. So actually I just buy a Dell, like maybe it's an i7, 16 gig RAM, and the hard disk is very like small, like 256 GB only. So now actually I regret. I tell my mother last time actually you can allow me to buy it larger, so I don't need to change the laptops now. So it means that there is no requirement for it for that. It's really based on the personal preference, I would say.
Okay, thank you, Soon Gui. So yeah, so personal preference, and don't break the bank for it, and see what your parents are comfortable with as well. Yeah, but I hope that answers your question as well. Okay, so in the interest of time, maybe Soon Gui, if there's any last words.
Actually, I have a private question which is
okay.
from Bethany.
Okay.
So it's asking whether I can share the Excel I shared just now. So actually, I already shared this Excel file to Janice. So if you really want this documentation, or maybe you want to know about the skills framework, like which URL you can get, actually you can drop the email to the SIM Malaysia rep office email. So Janice will able to send you all these documents.
Yeah. So yes, please feel free to email me on the email I shared earlier, and then we will answer you or send you the Excel accordingly as well. Yeah. So okay. Yes. So great. So thank you so much for your time. If there's any last words you want to say to our current students or students that are interested in computer science, do you have any last word of advice for these students?
Okay, I would say no matter what you learn, right? Actually, the important things for you to do well in IT or maybe in every industry. Actually, for what I learned from all these years, like maybe it's not many years, but three to 4 years. Actually, I feel the attitude is very important. So what brings you further, right? It's not only the technical skill. You need the communication skill, and actually the attitude. Why I say attitude is important is because I feel because I see a lot of like good example in my career mentor, like my senior, all that in my previous job or now the job. So they actually show me their like passion in the IT. Even though they have their family, they have child to take care, but they never stop learning. They never put the effort into the area they want to learn. So it's the attitude to bring them that is very success until now. So I always feel that there is no can or cannot do, but whether you want or do not want to do. Yeah, it's something like this.
Okay, thank you, Soon Gui. Okay, we have one final question that popped up just on time. So how should we prepare for a course, especially in view of the remote learning environment?
How should you prepare the course? So I would say is for the, I'm not sure whether you say it's like you haven't joined the course, then how you prepare for this, or maybe now you're already in the course, then is you need to do remotely. But I would say two perspectives. If you haven't joined the course, right, actually, I would say if you interested with AI, maybe you can just, because now have a lot of online platform and they offer free courses. So you can just take a look for those module or maybe those like area you want to focus on so that you can know more. But for the specific technical skill, right, actually I feel like you no need to worry too much about that because the school, like what I say, they will teach you the basic foundation. So if you now already graduate from secondary school, you are waiting to get into the university program, right? My advice is to rest well now and to enjoy the life now because yeah, of course you can take a look for those industry news and to know more about that industry that you want to get in. Then because what you want to do, right, is actually when you join the program itself, then you pay attention to class, you put in all your effort into the program, what the lecturer teach you, then I think it's enough for you to build the basic knowledge from there. But because like what I say, the industry knowledge actually, because the class, the hours is not that long and not that enough for you to, for the lecturer to share with you a lot of things. So that one you need to do your own exposure, which is you can take a look for the online, like the resources, remote learning, all that things. But if you want to say nowadays, if you are in the school, right, actually, I don't feel like you need to worry about also because the school will provide those platforms for you to learn. And there's always an email and maybe the live chat out. So you can drop the question to the lecturer itself if you have any question. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so looking at the time, thank you very much, Soon Gui, for sharing with us today. We really, really appreciate it. And I believe everyone here has learned a lot based on your sharing today as well. So, okay, for everyone else, thank you for joining us today also. Yeah, and have an amazing Saturday ahead. If you have any questions, please feel free to write to us. The email is actually on the group chat now. If there's any questions left for Soon Gui or for our for SIM itself, please feel free to write to us. If not, thank you very much, and hopefully see you next week if you're interested in the e-commerce session as well. Okay, take care. Bye bye.
Okay, take care, everyone.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye bye.